Hello and welcome back to the Real Horror Show podcast. I'm your wait, I did that all wrong. Restart.
Wait, what goes first? Hold up, I have
What
to
goes first? Where are we? I
where's my document? Here it
so
is.
so because of the snowstorm, well not snowstorm last week, the ice storm we got last week. I worked from
Mhm.
home for 2 days, so that's the reason our latest mini show isn't up yet because
Mhm.
I've lost all track of days. So it's fine. It just means
It's okay.
we'll be 2 episodes ahead and we'll be ready for when we do need to take a break.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
but
Absolutely.
anyway, oh, I was right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Real Horror Show, a horror movie review podcast where we review horror movies from Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sam Odie.
And I'm your co-host, Stormy Skies.
This week we are reviewing The Substance, which is a 2024 satirical body horror film written, directed, co-edited, and co-produced by Coralie Fargeat. It follows a fading celebrity, Elisabeth Sparkle, played by Demi Moore, who, after being fired by her producer due to her age, uses a black market drug that creates a much younger version of herself, played by Margaret Qualley, with unexpected side effects. And this is how we
Yes.
like to break it down. We start with characters and acting, followed by story and writing, and lastly, we wrap things up with some production notes. And then we like to discuss the real horrors this movie addresses. Sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we like to have a bit of goofy fun. That being said, we are a horror movie podcast, so here is a general trigger warning. We talk about death, blood, guts, and other unsavory topics that might not be suitable for everyone, although we try to do so sensitively. Listeners' discretion is advised. Movies are then rated on a scale of what the fuck did I just watch, which means there are no redeeming qualities to be found. Meh, it's okay, and oh yeah, that fucked me up, which is what all horror should try to be. So, let's get started.
Yes, do let's.
Do let's.
I watched this last night.
So did I.
Oh shit, really? Did you watch
hmm
it on Fandango movie
I watched
rental?
I watched it on Amazon, speaking of being a scab.
Oh, damn, that's okay. It's whatever's
It's what I
most
have on
convenient.
my TV. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
that's fat. That's totally fine. I got the Fandango connected to like my card. So I just
Uh,
told Luke to rent it. And I was like, I gotta rent this movie. So I rented it
yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
yay. That's it.
It's nice to have money to be able to afford a $6 movie rental these days.
It's sick because you know what? It was a $5 movie rental, but there was tax, so it became a $6
Yeah.
movie rental. And I was like, why is there tax on this digital file? But
Yeah.
I suppose that's just how it is.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, acting. As of this recording, Demi Moore has officially won a Golden Globe and has
Yes.
been nominated for a SAG award for her performance in this movie. Could this be the year we have another horror movie do well at the Academy Awards? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So
Right.
yeah, so
Has
yeah.
it really been since Silence of the Lambs that a horror movie has like swept the Oscars?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember any. Yeah, and
I
also,
should know.
yeah.
I'm a film snob. I should know.
Well,
Um,
have you seen Silence of the Lambs yet, though, Sam?
no.
Oh no. Okay, we should like probably maybe we could
We
watch that like next or something. That's a great
we
film.
we should we should watch it in correspondence with horror at the Academy Awards. I think maybe that could be a nice series to do
That could be cool.
in the weeks leading up to, because I'm trying to think. I think Get Out won Best Screenplay when it came out at the Academy Awards.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That sounds about
Um,
right.
but we could also throw in Hereditary because it's widely agreed upon that Toni Collette should have been nominated for her performance in that movie, and I agree.
Yeah.
No matter how you
Yeah.
feel about Hereditary, her performance was outstanding and she got snubbed that year.
Right. Yeah, yeah, for sure. She did. Um but yeah, I can't, apart from those, I can't think of anything that's like reached the Oscar level.
Yeah.
That's like a tough ceiling to break.
And it'll be really cool if The Substance in particular does well at the Oscars because it's body horror. And I feel like even
Yeah.
within the horror community and our friends and foes can argue with us if they choose But I feel like
Right.
body horror is still, even within the community, on the outskirts of like what people enjoy in horror because even horror people would be like, "Oh, The Walrus with Justin Long, that's one of the most vile and disgusting horror movies I've ever watched." And I'm like,
Right.
"Is it really that bad? I think it's just body horror and people don't like to see that kind of stuff."
Yeah, like Barbarian. Yeah, like thinking
Oh,
back on that, it was,
Barbarian.
is that what we're talking about? Is that what you said with Justin
Uh,
Long?
no, Walrus. Um,
Walrus. Oh, I haven't seen
you know,
that
the one
one.
where he's turned into a walrus. I haven't watched it either.
No, I
But I
haven't
feel
seen.
like it's probably not actually that bad. It's just people,
People really, you know how people can get
yeah, when it
with the
comes to
things.
mainstream horror, you see slashers, you see ghost stories. Body horror is still kind of on the outskirts
It
of the
is.
mainstream horror genre because it can be so vile and disgusting
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
within the horror community.
Right. Yeah, it can be. And so whenever it like kind of breaks loose into the mainstream like this did, like people like can't take it and they're like, "Oh my
Mhm.
God, my eyes are scarred." So
Like a really good mild body horror
yeah.
film I watched a while ago on Shudder is called We Are Not Cats, and it's a
Oh.
very art housey movie that doesn't really have it's kind of gross. It's not super scary. It's about two people who have that tick where they pluck out their hair and eat it. Like
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
what it's
like
called.
Pika.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
so it's
okay.
about that, and at the end, the girl is dying and she doesn't want to go to the hospital, but she's like very sick. And so
Yeah.
he cuts open her stomach and removes a giant hairball because we are not
Uh
cats and we cannot
oh yes,
regurgitate
duh.
our
Uh
hair.
Yeah, that's a thing though. People do, if they eat hair, they do get the hairballs, and it has to be like physically removed like that,
Hmm.
or else we'll like starve.
Yeah.
It'll be like a blockage.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that's a very mild body horror, but it's also
Very
very
mild.
disgusting and vile to remove a giant hairball from your girlfriend's abdomen.
Hey, you know what? You know what that makes me think of? Like, there is another, like a weird horror movie that I saw way back when in like the early 2000s when I was younger. And I don't know, like, I feel like if you and I watched it, we might consider this a little bit of a body horror, like slightly.
Hmm.
But it was called, it was it was a movie, and I'll like find the title for you, but it was a movie, and I'm pretty certain Jude Law was in it, and it was about him as a guy who was like had to collect other people's organs for the black market.
Ooh.
And like the ending scene was him having to collect his girlfriend's organs, but to collect them means he had to like scan them because they had barcodes. So he like made an incision in her stomach and put his arm all up inside of her
Oh,
and was like scanning all her shit. And
oh yeah, I
they
would
tried to
definitely
make it like
consider that.
yeah, but it was like a sexy scene. It's very hard to describe to you, but I'm gonna have to find that title while we're talking.
Yeah.
But
Oh
that was
shit,
a cool movie.
I'm dumb. The Human Centipede.
Oh yeah,
That's
duh, forgot
probably
about that.
that, and I think we were just. I was talking with
It's
someone about it. It might have been you. It might have been. I go on this tangent a lot.
maybe me,
Is
yeah.
the Human Centipede the base movie, the original movie? I'm not going to go into two or three because those were responses to how the general public reacted to Human Centipede. Human Centipede is really not that bad. It's
It's really not. It's really 100% not
It's
that bad
it's
when you
so it's
chill.
so tame. Yes, it's disgusting because they feed by the ones on the
Pooping.
ends that don't have their mouths free feed by
Yeah.
eating the poop of the person in front of them, and it's gross and it's disgusting. But in terms of gore
Yeah.
and blood and guts, it's not that bad. It's incredibly tame.
There's
Even
barely any
yeah.
gore or blood for
Like,
real.
I feel like the human centipede in terms of body horror is like the tamest body horror you can watch because I pulled up a list of the best examples of body horror, and The Fly with Jeff Goldblum
Oh yeah, The
is
Fly, for
yeah,
sure.
is at the top. And like you compare The Fly to Human Centipede,
Hmm.
The Fly is so much
Oh, that's
more
fucking
gruesome.
gross.
That's
Yeah,
so
I
gross.
know. Jesus.
Which
I didn't know how bad The Fly was gonna be until I
yeah.
saw it.
Which, speaking of the fly influenced some of the designs of the later prosthetics in the substance.
Absolutely. When I
Yeah,
saw that end thing, I was like, "Oh shit, this reminds me of the fly
yeah,
at the like the fucked up one." Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Cool.
But anyway, back into acting.
Anyway, yeah, sorry
Um,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Demi Moore was not the first choice for the role of Elisabeth Sparkle, and the role was offered to three other actresses before they finally landed on Moore. Fargeat didn't think that she would be interested in doing the film because it's body horror, and to an extent, she'd have to be willing to destroy her image. Moore was unfamiliar with the genre of body horror and thought the movie could be a cultural shift or a fucking disaster. And even, it took 6 meetings for them to finally settle that Moore was going to be the star of the movie. And a big contribution for that final decision was that the director, Fargay, read Demi Moore's autobiography, and just who Demi Moore was in the 80s and 90s really aligned with Elisabeth
Yeah.
Sparkle and her story, where Demi was, she was the it girl. She was stunning. She was gorgeous. She had that controversy where she had the fully nude maternity photos done.
Ooh, yeah. Did she? Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Go her. That's
Um,
awesome. She's married to
and
Bruce Willis. She's married to
yeah,
Ashton Kutcher too. Like
yeah.
everybody loved her. She
So
shaved her
she,
head bald for a movie. So
yeah. So
cool.
when I was typing up my notes last night, I was shocked to read that Moore was not the first choice for this movie, because when I found out she was doing it, I was like, oh yeah, this is a great comeback for her, just
Yeah.
with the plot of the movie being, the former it girl now in this period of feeling like you've aged out of the Hollywood uh, cycle, being in your 50s. And
Right.
I mean, this movie deals with aging as a woman. That's the framing device of this whole movie, is
Yeah.
framing aging in the public eye, how just the world reacts to aging women. I remember a few years ago now, there
Yeah.
was a magazine cover with Hilary Duff, who I think was 35 at the time, 33, 35,
Hmm.
where she did a implied nudity shoot for a health magazine, and everybody was like, Hilary Duff looking great at 35. Uh, and
What
it's
the
just
fuck?
35 is so
She's
young.
she's fucking young still, dude.
Yeah, I say that as an almost 32-year-old. 35 is still so young,
Well,
especially
yeah.
post-pandemic, where I still feel like I'm 25 because that fucking pandemic
Same.
stole my 20s.
Yeah. I got a 5 year gap in my head, but
Yeah.
but how
Yeah,
about
we
in the
talked about
movie?
that on New Year's,
Yeah.
how the pandemic was started 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, that's insane to me.
Holy shit.
But yeah, well, Demi is 62 right now.
Hmm.
And she looks beautiful and
Hmm.
fabulous. I don't think she looks 62. She thinks she looks younger than that, which is wonderful.
Hmm.
But what I was gonna say is about being in the 30s in the movie, whenever moving, like, sorry, this is like a spoiler, but like they're doing a casting call for her replacement. And
Hmm.
did you see what the age limit was?
18 to 30.
30. I was like, oh shit. Fucking 32 over here. I wouldn't be able to do it. Too
Yeah,
old.
you're
Too
too
old to work
decrepit.
out.
Too
Fuck.
decrepit. I did find two gray hairs yesterday.
Oh shit.
That was I'm dealing with it
It's
well.
normal.
I pulled them out. On the
Okay.
bright side,
Hmm.
I do think I will have pretty gray hair. I think it'll be a nice silvery gray. So we'll see when they start coming in rapidly how I feel. If it is actually a pretty gray. Because I see,
Mine is supposed to be white since it's red.
yeah,
It's supposed to turn like, we'll see.
since you're a redhead,
Anyway.
but luckily I
Ugh.
have super dark hair naturally.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
That
think
would
it'll
be
be
cool as shit.
I think it'll be a pretty gray. I've seen, women in their late 30s and 40s who went gray already have just really pretty gray hair. So I'm not panicking yet. It's just
Yeah, don't worry.
I had a moment. It's fine.
Yeah, no worries there. Um,
Uh
yes, but yeah, 30 is the cutoff, so you and I would absolutely be disqualified.
yes.
Even if we look younger, dude, isn't that so shitty?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Um, and
Uh,
then Margaret Qualley is
oh
our
yeah,
other big star.
I
She
love
was
her.
brought on because she shared some common, like she had the same energy as Demi Moore, and Fargeat liked that she had a background as a dancer. And Demi Moore actually had an indirect connection with Qualley already because she starred in St. Elmo's Fire
Yeah,
with
with her
Andy
mom.
McDowell,
Yeah.
who is Margaret Qualley's mom. Margaret Qualley is a Nepo baby, but it's fine because she's actually super talented.
Dude, she's excellent. The first time I saw Margaret Qualley was in a TV show on HBO called The Leftovers
Mm,
about if the rapture actually happened.
yeah,
And she was the daughter of like the main character. And it honestly incredible. She was much younger then, but like it's not like a religious show. It's about like how if that really happened, how fucked up you'd be. You know what I mean? If like
yeah.
people disappeared around you and like how your mind has to process it. So she was a showstopper even back then. So I love when I see her name pop up and stuff.
hmm And Margaret Qualley, just absolutely stunning.
Oh
Fun
yeah.
fact, there is at least one song in existence that was written about her, specifically
Oh,
Margaret, featuring The Bleachers by Lana Del Rey.
oh,
Um,
cool.
it's about it's about Jack Antonoff meeting Margaret Qualley for the first
Yeah.
time, and
Oh.
they're married now. Jack Antonoff, lead singer of the Bleachers, Taylor Swift's music producer.
Oh, okay. The Bleachers.
Yeah,
Cool name, bud. Sorry.
he was also Fun. Fun was like one of his side projects.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Fun. Yeah. Well,
um,
cool. Yeah, but she's
and
gorgeous.
she's stunning. Uh,
But let's talk about Dennis Quaid, though, my man.
he,
I love this guy.
I love him so much in this movie.
Me too, right?
Like here's the thing.
I didn't know he could do that.
Dennis Quaid, real life Trump supporter,
Oh shit,
dickwad
for real?
for
Oh damn.
realsies. He just played
Oh.
Right when this movie was coming out. His other movie where he played Ronald Reagan was also coming out.
Oh
And if
god.
any movie gets him an award nomination, it should be this one because he is. I've never seen him in a role like this because he's usually, 90s heartthrob Dennis Quaid.
Yes. Or like nice guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like a dad.
Yeah,
But
and
like
he's
this,
just
yeah, never seen him do this before. It's great.
whenever I recommend this movie to people for a movie night, because I do think it's a good movie night, I say, "Oh yeah, it's not that bad." There's a really gnarly scene of Dennis Quaid eating shrimp that's like one of the most vile things I've seen in a horror movie. But after that,
Yeah.
it's pretty mild.
It is, but he every time oh my gosh, I'm sorry that he's like a bad dude right now,
hmm
but like I I think
Yeah.
his charisma in this movie
Oh,
for being like a total dick, I'm just like, wow, it's
absolutely
magnetic.
phenomenal. And the way they shot him was intentional.
Yeah.
They wanted him to seem larger than life. And what I love about it being Dennis Quaid is, I don't know his age right off the top of my head, but he's in the same like age range as Demi Moore. So
Yeah.
he's like, oh, she's so fucking old and haggard and disgusting.
I
And
know, right? And he like does gross stuff like eat gross shrimp and
oh yeah,
smoke and
yeah,
shit
he is
and
70 years old, so we can assume that his character
he's
in this
70?
movie, yeah,
Oh my
we can guess that
God.
his character in this movie is probably about in that age range. So he's just like, oh,
Whoa. He
fucking
looks pretty good.
disgusting. This fucking disgusting 50-year-old woman. Ugh.
Wait, he was eating shrimp, but he was like dipping them in like a sauce. And I was like, huh, what about that sauce? I was grossed out, but I was like, it looks good.
Yeah,
I
no,
was grossed
I
out.
love shrimp, yo.
Me too, but yeah, he wasn't in the movie all that much, but when he was there, he was like he would like do the same type of like his speech was always the same. He was like shouting and stuff, of course.
hmm
Um I love him in this ridiculous movie called The Day After Tomorrow, where he plays a
Uh,
scientist. Have you
Day After
seen that
Tomorrow is so
movie?
good.
Oh God, it's so good. And that I would consider that a fucking horror movie too, guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying. But he's like the main character. And I ever
hmm
since I saw him in that and Flight of the Phoenix, about whenever they crash their plane and have to rebuild their plane in the desert. And
Yeah.
he's the main character of that too. I was like, oh, I love Dennis Quaid, but I love him on screen. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say about
Real
that.
life, he's not a great person. And also his
Damn.
son, Jack Quaid,
Yes.
little horror boy right there.
Yeah, Scream King, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot about
he
him.
was Ghostface in Scream 5.
He was Ghostface. He was a good Ghostface. I actually really like
Yeah.
that. And I like him he's in The Boys. He's like the
Yes.
main character.
Yes,
Uh
I still have not seen The Boys, but
oh really, Sam?
it's
You should
it's
see
on the
it.
list.
I wasn't like in the beginning, since everybody else was watching The Boys, I was like, you know what? Since everyone's watching it, like it must be like pretty lame. But actually, I'm surprised how people are taking this because this has like body horror elements and stuff too. It's pretty crazy. So you'd really like it
Hmm.
because of the like gory and violent aspects of it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, let me know when you start watching that.
Yeah, because, despite my dislike of the Terrifier franchise, I do like gore. Like, we're
Yes.
sitting here praising a body horror that's got some of the most vile imagery in horror this year. Also, speaking of horror this year, Horror 2024, apparently Late Night with the Devil was ranked as the best horror movie of 2024 by some
For
magazine.
real?
And I'm tired of being gaslit about this movie. It was not that good.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm drinking tea and I'm making me cough. But anyway, yes, that's like really weird. What magazine? The fuck?
I can't remember. Let me
Oh my
see.
God, probably like Mid Magazine or something. Gosh. Uh,
Let me see if
Late
it
Night with
pops
the
up
Devil.
on my, not shopping, gross.
Listen,
News.
that could have been so good, and I feel bad for the guy. And I think that if he was in another horror movie, I think he could do a really great job. But I don't think he was like given enough to work with in this one, which sucks. I'd love to see him in a scarier role.
Hmm.
Wait.
I swear, I just saw it on TikTok, but you know.
News. I'll look at the news section. I don't know. It won't tell me. Okay. But yeah, for real, yeah. That I disagree. I don't think that the best of 2024. Honestly, dude, when I watched this, Substance came out this 2024. So when I watched it last night, when I was done, I was like, Luke, that might have been one of the best horror movies I've ever seen, like in
Hmm.
my life. Like seriously, like, and
Hmm.
we'll get to talking, but like for
Yeah.
real. But Later
Yeah.
with the Devil came out 2023.
Yeah, but I think it had a wide release in
Oh,
2024. I don't
I
know. Either way,
see.
I disagree with it. It was fine. I don't think it
Same.
was worth the hype.
Okay.
Segueing
Segueing
into
away from that into yes.
writing,
Yeah, okay.
writing and story.
All
So there is
right.
very little dialogue in this movie.
Yeah, about that. That's
And that was
cool.
part of the challenge they had. This is a production note. That was part of the challenge they had in the editing room was finding the right pacing for the movie because there is so little dialogue in it to
Mm-hmm.
keep viewers interested and not bored when there's very little conversation happening.
hmm
Anyway, the film won Best Screenplay at the 77th Cannes Award.
I think it's yeah, Canes, I think.
Canes
Maybe. That's right.
Festival when it premiered.
No,
Uh,
Cans.
Cannes. Oh my God,
Sorry.
I was so
It
off.
was the one we didn't choose. Yeah, Cans.
Listen, in my defense, I've only had one cup of coffee so far this morning.
Dude, it's cool, man. I'm just drinking mint tea, so it's not doing a thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so the story follows Elisabeth Sparkle, who we discussed already. She is a fading starlet who, at the very beginning of the movie, is turning 50. It's her birthday. The events all start on her 50th birthday. She gets fired after hearing Dennis Quaid talk about what an old, disgusting dinosaur she is in the men's bathroom, which, speaking of the men's bathroom, did you get
Yeah.
the Shining vibes from the bathroom?
Oh, yeah, the hallway and the
Yeah.
bathroom, dude. Blatant. Really, really cool stuff. I was like, hell yeah.
Like the first time I saw this in theaters and saw that bathroom for the first time, I was like, is this The Shining?
Yeah, it was that, and then it was that big long orange hallway with the
Oh yeah.
orange rug with the same,
Yeah.
almost the same. They were like squares.
Yeah. So I'm not crazy. I'm
Yeah.
getting some Shining vibes from some
Nope.
of the
It was
shots.
awesome. Very cool stuff.
So he takes her out for a birthday lunch where he just destroys a platter of shrimp. And he's like,
I know there was like a ton of
it's
shit.
not you, it's us. It's not you, it's us. We think you're disgusting. No, he says they're worried about ratings now that you're older. They want to pull in a younger demographic and
Right. And then he tried to like figure out what menopause was. He's like, the thing stops now
yeah,
at 50, and she's like, what? And I think was he trying to refer to like her period stopping or something like that?
probably.
I guess. All right, well, whatever. And then he was like, I gotta go. And he said, go talk to like another old guy loudly in the
Yeah.
restaurant. Oh
And
God.
so then she's driving and she gets distracted by a billboard of herself being torn down. Probably
Yeah.
has nothing to do with her firing. They swap those things out as needed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's so distracted and perturbed by what just happened. She gets T-boned, but she's fine. Um,
Yeah, she's fine. Go her.
she starts crying when the doctor wishes her a happy birthday, and then
Right.
after he leaves, the hot male nurse kind of feels her up, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh yeah, you're a perfect candidate. You're a perfect candidate."
It's like, yeah, let me feel your spine. Oh yeah. Yeah, it feels like I could put the needle through your spine there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Uh,
Don't mind my weird arm thing. Like
yeah.
weird.
And then he's left her a USB drive labeled The Substance, and she goes home and watches it, which I don't think she should have. That could have had malware on it,
A virus?
a
Yeah, dude.
virus. Um, and I'm actually, this is my marketing brain with my job.
Yeah.
I want to use the Substance
Like the
voiceover
font. Oh, the
in
voiceover,
the
yeah.
voiceover, the font to advertise our after school programmings. Have you ever wanted to be a better version of you? I'd
Oh,
have to think of
smart.
how to do.
That would be so cool if you did that,
That
if
would
this
be,
movie was more like if more people probably watched it. I feel like
yeah.
nobody's watched this, unfortunately.
But the people
Maybe they
who
will.
get it.
Yeah, I would get it and I'd be like, this is brilliant.
The girls who get it, and the ones who don't.
Yep.
Um, so she throws it away because that was a ridiculous notion that really didn't give any information. And she goes out by herself to have five dirty martinis at a bar. And
Goes home to throw up. Yeah.
honestly, I think the events that transpire could have been completely avoided if she had a single friend.
Yeah, right? I
Yeah.
know.
And
Oh, don't forget she meets that guy after her like
oh
car
yeah,
wreck or something, and he's like,
the
"Hey,
the
we went
dorky
to
guy she went to high school with.
high school with," and she's like, "Haha," and he's like, "Yeah, let's like go on a date." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, he's like, "You're still the most beautiful woman in the world to me."
Aw, that was so sweet. But then he like dropped like his phone number in the fucking dirty water, but still gave it to her like a damn fool.
Yeah,
But she kept it though. She kept it.
she kept it.
Anyway, that's her only semblance of somebody who's like maybe could be a friend, but they're not
Hmm.
connected yet.
Yeah. Um, and then after that, she decides to call the substance number and order a package. And it comes, and she goes to this sketchy alleyway to go pick up the starter kit.
Yeah.
And again, if she had a single friend who was like, "All right, I'll go with you before we go get like fucking organ harvested or something."
Right.
And so she gets it, opens the box, and still very few, no instructions. It just says, food for the matrix, food for the other self, activator. Only take the
Yeah.
activator once.
And then the stabilizer stabilize every day for
Stabilize
seven
every
days.
day.
And you got to switch every 7 days
Like
without exception.
I'm sure there's an actual instruction manual
Right.
in the
But
box,
it's
but based on
but the
what they show
marketing
the
is so
audience,
cool. Yeah, the
what they
marketing
show
is
the
so cool.
audience.
It's just so clean and streamlined. That's all we
Yeah.
need to know in this day and age. We don't need that many instructions. We just want a couple words. Get right
Yeah.
to it.
And so Demi Moore strips down naked because I'm guessing that's in the instruction manual that we never see, and injects herself with the substance and goes into mitosis, where all her cells double and Margaret Qualley emerges from her spine
Oh God.
and
Yeah.
to answer what everybody keeps talking about, they
Yeah.
are the same person. They share a consciousness.
Yes. Yes. They
That is
are
why
one.
that's why the ad keeps saying, "Don't forget, you are one.
Yeah.
Respect the balance." Because
Hmm.
what Sue knows is what Elizabeth knows, which is why Sue doesn't emerge from the spine all floppy and dumb. She is
Yeah.
Elizabeth, just a
Right.
quote unquote better version of Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's not a clone of Demi. It's like just a better version of the same DNA. So like a twin that's not identical or
Yes,
something, you know,
yes,
and younger.
and younger. Anyway, so she stitches up Demi's back so it doesn't get infected, and
Yeah.
we learn what it's like for the other. They have to activate using spinal fluid, not activate, stabilize every day using spinal fluid because they're not like a real person.
Right. Yeah,
We
exactly.
because like a clone with what we know about cloning in the real world, a clone
Hmm.
still needs to be birthed by someone.
Ah,
So Dolly the
interesting.
sheep was a cloned embryo that they implanted into a female sheep to carry a term and then birth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so right now with cloning understanding and technology, the baby still has to be birthed. We're really only at the point of cloning embryos.
I see. Very cool.
We might be at a different stage, but that's all I know. All I know is we
Yeah.
haven't tried to clone a human yet.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Oh shit.
Let's see, where
Okay.
were we? Okay, so um Sue goes to the audition to be the next Elisabeth Sparkle. And that's the other thing is
Yeah.
Elizabeth doesn't want to be anyone else. She just wants to be herself, which is why the first thing she does as Sue is
Hmm.
go audition to be the next Elizabeth Sparkle. She wants the life she had. She wants her youth back. And
Hmm.
so that's what she does is she buys a slutty little pink leotard to audition
Yeah.
with, and she gets the part. And no one, I, they keep bringing up the logic about how does she have a social security number? How is she actually hired? How is she getting paid? And it's like, is that what you're really going to question about this movie, not Sue emerging from the
Right.
spine of Elizabeth?
Yeah, seriously. I didn't even think for 1 second how she got hired. I was like, yeah, whatever. They hired her
And
because
Dennis
she's super
Quaid is
hot.
totally chill about her needing to be off every other week
Yeah, I was totally
because
chill about
because
it.
she's hot and adorable and
Yes.
she needs to be the star of this new morning workout show.
Yeah, because
Pump
everybody
it up.
watches those. Yeah, pump it up because that's what me and Sam, we wake up and the first thing we do is watch our morning workout show.
Hmm.
Just watch it. Don't do it. That's so funny. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and so things are going great until they're not.
Oh,
Elizabeth
yeah.
doesn't like being Elizabeth anymore because she feels old and discarded and useless. Again, if she had a single friend, she wouldn't be feeling this way. She
Yes.
struggles to kill time, but really all of this is her own fault because she was so focused on her career. She doesn't have a family, she doesn't have a husband, she doesn't really have friends, so she's
Yeah.
alone. And I think that's really ultimately why she wants to still work, why she wants to be in the
Yeah.
starlight is the perceived notion that she has all these people in her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
so eventually things get out of hand where Sue, quote unquote, is not respecting the balance and is taking more and more time. And every time she takes more time, Elizabeth's body, the matrix, disintegrates. She ages rapidly
Yeah.
and But
Ugh.
she complains to management about this, and he's like, just respect the fucking balance.
Right. And they're like,
Far
fuck,
more,
okay.
far more patient than I would ever be.
Yeah, seriously.
Respect the balance. And so Demi, as the Matrix, when she is active, she's just letting herself go, eating whole chickens,
Yeah.
slowly descending into Requiem for a Dream mother madness.
Right. Yeah, just like cooking
Great
a bunch of
reference,
crazy
me.
food. Yeah. Dude, I've never
And
seen Requiem for a Dream.
oh, it's so good. It's so
Ah,
depressing.
yeah.
I've
Oh,
talked to my
shit.
friends. We should have a Darren Aronofsky movie night minus
Oh.
Mother and just kill
Oh.
ourselves at the end.
I like Mother. Hey, that's the same guy. Okay.
It is, but I don't like
Why don't
Mother
you? How come you don't like it?
because it was bad.
Ah, man. Okay, well,
It
anyway. Darren Aronofsky. Darren.
uh
Yeah, who's too.
so Sue is getting pissed off because she's trying to use the most of her 7 days and she just doesn't have time to enjoy herself and her hot young body plowing all the hot guys and just having a good time because she spends these 7 days working and getting ready
Mhm.
for the New Year's Eve show because she's so young and hot, and her exercise show is just gratuitous shots of her ass. That they
Dude,
want her
right? Oh my
that
God,
they
I
want her to
know.
host the big New Year's Eve show, which is just called New Year's Eve show.
I know. That's such a Saturday Night Live thing, I feel like
Yeah.
too.
And
It's Friday. Tomorrow it's 9 p.m.
yeah.
New Year's Eve show.
And so finally, she just gets fed up and drains as much spinal fluid as she possibly can
Damn.
from Demi Moore's spine, just filling up all these containers, and lives 3 months
Oh.
as Sue and gets a long-term committed boyfriend. And finally, it reaches the point where she's out of her stockpile and has to switch.
Uh,
And then we see what
uh,
they refer to as Gollum,
oh, okay.
which
Cool.
is the final stage of the movie where Demi Moore is just Gollum. All of this is practical effects, by the way. So they had to put on like 5 pounds of fake flesh
Oh,
on Demi Moore to create this look. And she's like, get the
cool.
fuck out to her
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, bye.
And she finally decides to terminate her other self.
Yeah.
But halfway through terminating her other self, she sees the billboard and decides not to, but it's too late. But she puts the switch directly into her other self's heart and begins the switch, which wakes up the other self, and the other self kicks Demi Moore's ass.
Wait, isn't it this is the first time that they're both awake at the same time together?
Yeah, yeah. Because they're not
That's cool.
supposed to be.
Yeah,
Because
right?
they share a conscious, so they can't be.
So now they're freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sue kills Elizabeth,
Oh
and
God.
unfortunately, that means
Oh,
Sue is also going to die. So she gets to the place and her teeth start falling out, her nails start
oh,
falling out,
oh
and she's like,
God.
oh shit, I can't go on like this.
Her ear falls off too. Oh my God.
Her,
That whole part, I was like, that was like, oh, that was making me so
hmm
uncomfortable.
yeah, her whole body starts
Oh,
decaying, and
jeez.
so she races home, but not before Dennis Quaid is like, "Oh, is everything all right? Well, then smile because we
He's like
love when pretty girls
12,
smile."
12 dudes behind him that are all like old.
Yeah. And so she runs home because she kept a little bit of the activator. She didn't throw away the activator.
Oh,
So she's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna activate again. And
Yeah. And create more self.
that's when we
Oh,
get
shit.
Monstro Elisu.
Yeah.
Elizasu?
Yeah. It was like Monstra and it was like, yeah, Eliza Sue. Yeah, their
Yeah.
names mixed together. Uh-huh.
And despite this, for the first time, it seems that
Everything's
Elizabeth is
chill.
chill and happy with
Everything
the
is chill.
circumstances of her life.
Yeah.
And so she puts on her dress, puts on her earrings, and tries to fix the hot mess by curling what little hair she has.
But she like burns it and it comes off and she's like,
Yeah.
ah. That was funny.
And then she just staples the picture, her portrait to her face. so
and
no
puts
one
lipstick
notices.
on it
It
too.
puts lipstick on it,
And then she's
and
ready to go.
she arrives at the station and hallucinates that everybody's there to applaud and tell her how beautiful she is. Because oddly enough, when she's this grotesque monstrosity, this is when she feels the most confident finally in who she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's made peace with
Right.
herself. And so
Hmm.
she gets on stage and says, I've missed you all so much. And
They're like, ah!
everybody, well, they're all pretty chill and calm until she coughs up a boob.
Oh yeah, but if the boob gets coughed up from like a separate mouth.
Yeah, she gives birth to a boob.
I was like,
And then everybody panics,
then
calls her a
everybody
monster.
panics.
Uh, Someone hits her with a mic stand and her head just explodes, but then
Oh
she grows
shit.
another head. Uh, Finally, she runs away. She's able to
Oh.
escape and run away, but then she trips and just explodes into 1,000 body parts.
Wait, but before that, before I think it's after she gets hit with the mic stand, she does like a blood geyser,
Oh yeah, the
like
blood
for a
geyser.
really long time.
Yeah. David was watching with me and he's like, okay, now it's just getting silly.
Yeah. I thought the blood geyser was pretty great because I was like, wow, cool. It's a lot of blood.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
Demi Moore's face was stuck in
like
the back of
stuck,
Monstro
but
LSU.
stuck open, like
Yeah.
with the mouth open. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
So now that the body's broken apart, the blob, as it's called in the script, crawls away and crawls to Elisabeth Sparkle's Hollywood star, where Elisabeth dies in peace.
Yeah, she just turns into like a liquid
Yeah, and
and then
then
dies.
that's the story. That's the movie.
Damn,
It's very
that's a lot.
wild, very bizarre, but it's good. It's so good.
It is. So,
It's
guys, this is a 2 hour and 20-minute movie,
yeah.
so it's great.
And I missed the part where she does call Fred
Yeah.
up for a date.
Oh
And
shit,
yeah,
yeah.
after the first time Sue doesn't respect the balance.
Yeah.
Elizabeth tries to get back out there because she remembered that Fred still thinks she's beautiful. He's the only person she's met in the last 2 weeks that still thinks she's beautiful and not a decrepit, horrible, disgusting monster,
Yeah.
despite her
Yeah.
gross old finger now.
Oh
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
she gets inside her own head and
Uh-huh.
ghosts him on the date. And it's a very
Yeah.
I totally get that moment of you're trying to look cute, but you can't get cute.
Yeah, and you keep comparing yourself to Margaret Qualley's
Yeah.
character and just you keep changing
Just
how you're looking. Yeah, and
don't
then you're just
compare
like,
yourself to Margaret.
yes, yeah, just don't. It's hard to because she's right there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, the story is so bizarre. It's so crazy. They exist in this very weird world where a daytime workout show is like the number one show in America, and everybody is
Yeah.
upset. Like the host of that show is doing Vogue and
Yeah, seriously, that's like and then like also like doing movies.
Mhm.
Like that's
And
weird.
also this movie is so bright and colorful and I love
It
it.
is. I love everything about that. I think it looks
I
great.
I love bright horror movies.
It's so, me too. It's so cool. The only thing that's not bright about it is the bathroom. Her bathroom is
Hmm.
so clinical looking, but and that's
Yeah.
where she spends most of her time. She like takes a shower every like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So just kidding. But yeah, there's a lot of shower scenes. But
So
yeah, yeah,
there are quite a few production notes. I couldn't write everything down from Wikipedia because 70 to 80% of what we see in the final movie are
yeah,
practical effects.
yeah,
So
yes,
there's just a shit ton of notes on how they accomplished that. So I recommend reading through the Wikipedia article for anyone
yeah.
interested. This film was shot over the course of 108 days
Wow.
in 2022. It took a year to edit the film because they had to figure out the correct pacing for the movie due to the lack of dialogue in the
Yeah.
film. Uh, the score, which is awesome, was conceived by British producer and composer Rafferty, who became involved late into the post production around 2024, January 2024. He was given only a few months to complete the score. He created an electronic score that focused on the duality between Elizabeth and Sue, ranging
Yeah.
from organic and nostalgic to synthetic and contemporary.
Cool.
Uh,
Yeah. I like
Fargeat
that.
used practical effects and prosthetics. She resisted the push to use cheaper digital options,
Yes.
which I think is what makes this movie look so good. Like you can tell when they use CGI and they use it very sparingly.
Oh yeah.
So,
Very sparingly.
with during the Monstro LSU scenes, Margaret Qualley is wearing that suit.
Yeah.
That's actually her under all the prosthetics.
Hmm.
There was concern in pre-production about her wearing the suit, noting that only her eye would be visible, but
Uh,
Fargay ultimately had Quilly do the close-up shots for Monstro, recognizing the importance of her performance.
yeah.
Uh, the decision was ultimately acknowledged as essential to making Monstro's scenes visibly impactful in the final film.
Yeah. And
Um,
she had like a double, I think, doing some other stuff wearing the whole
yeah,
suit for
yeah,
like not close up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Or I
the
guess a
scene,
stunt woman.
the
Yeah.
POV scene during the bloodbath,
Oh yeah.
Fargay, the director, is actually wearing the suit minus the headpiece, so she
Nice.
could film the POV shots herself.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. The blood.
And
Yeah.
to prevent overheating, the suit incorporated a cooling vest similar to what race car drivers wear.
Oh, cool. Or like hikers and stuff. Or
Yeah,
people who wear like those they work at like amusement parks and wear those like costumes.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like a what am I trying to say? A mascot. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool, cool.
Um, in part, Monstro Elissue's appearance was inspired by The Fly,
Yeah.
like we
Oh,
said
I
at the
could see
top of the show.
that. Oh yeah.
Um, The monster suit was entirely practical except for Demi Moore's face, which was CGI'd into
Yeah.
the back of the suit. And
Yeah.
Universal Pictures was originally going to distribute the movie. However, due to some executive pushback, they did not want to release the movie without a recut. Because Fargay had negotiated final cut in her contract, that demand could not be met, so Universal stepped back. It was, as you can imagine, two male executives and one female executive who wanted the
Of
recut and did not think the movie would sell as it is. But that is
course.
when Mubi stepped in and released the movie as Fargay envisioned. After the film's release, the female executive allegedly voiced her support for the film to the director directly, but she didn't feel like she could speak up before because of her colleagues, which
Hmm.
I might call a little bullshit on that. Of course, you voice support for it after it starts winning all these awards.
Yeah. Seriously.
But those are the production notes that I wrote down. Um,
Okay.
I love the soundtrack for this is so iconic. I love it
Oh
so
yeah, it is
much.
cool. I got a
It's
production note.
you have a
Um,
production note.
I have a production note because I was looking into the prosthetics and stuff, and I was looking at, well, there's a lot of female nudity in this
Oh shit, yes.
movie,
Margaret
and
Qualley's boobs.
yeah, her boobs. Oh my God. I was like, wow, she's so beautiful. And then I like saw, and then right after the movie, I watched like her and Demi at the Golden Globes, and I was like, huh, boobs are really small. And I was like, I wonder if she's got fake boobs. They're prosthetic breasts.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I meant to make that note too.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
her
cool.
boobs in the film are fake,
They're
which
fake.
which is
They
interesting.
look
I should have picked up
great.
on it when I watched it in theaters because I also just watched Margaret Qualley earlier this year in Drive Away Dolls, where she also does nudity, but with her natural
Her
body.
natural small. Yeah.
Yeah, but all I could think of while watching The Substance was, wow, her boobs and nipples are just so perfect.
So perfect. I know. I was like, damn, she looks amazing. I was
God
like,
damn,
holy
Jack Antonoff,
crap.
congratulations.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, what a great movie. All these beautiful naked women.
Yeah, but then I saw an interview with Margaret Qualley saying, "No, sorry, I'm so sorry to disappoint everybody. Those are fake boobs."
Those are fake. I'm so sorry to disappoint everybody. That's not really what my boobs
But
are.
no, those
Oh,
were
they look good.
fantastic. They were I was like,
Great
those are
boobs.
so perfect. Like
I
just
know. And I
the
thought they
perfect
were her
size nipple
boobs.
and
I know.
I should have known they were fake. They were just
Damn.
too perfect.
I thought they were, I just thought she was just a, a beautiful girl. And then I saw
Yeah.
her in her dress at the Golden Globes and I was like, her boobs are very small. So I was like,
Yeah.
damn, those are fake.
And apparently Margaret Qualley had to work out like crazy after accepting the role to
Oh, I
achieve that
bet.
sex symbol figure,
Oh,
which I
yeah,
do,
because that's her real butt.
yeah.
Sure.
Which I do want to point out, not that I want to point out how a person's body moves, but
Yeah.
in the first Pump It Up scene, she does still have thigh jiggle.
Yes, I think, yeah, she has thigh jiggle, but I think that's what makes it like sexier is that
Hmm.
I think people like to see, but yeah, she does because
Hmm.
she is a real person
Yeah.
and women we have big thighs.
It's just our
So
skin moving.
yeah, like it just gonna, I don't know how to make it not move. I don't
Yeah.
know what to do. Just have no skin.
No skin.
No, no skin. Just muscles that are the color of your skin, dude.
Hmm.
But yeah, everybody looked beautiful and great. Um, but yeah, that was really cool. And that was my only production note. Uh, apart from everything you said about how the practical effects looked excellent, I was not expecting a creature at the
Hmm.
end.
Oh
Actually,
no, I wasn't.
when she did the activator, I was almost thinking that Demi was going to be like reborn out of Margaret's body.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I was like, huh,
that would
maybe
have
she'll just
been
like come out.
that would have been interesting.
I just thought that, but then I was like, oh, of course it's going to be fucked up. Um, but yeah, that
I
was
mean, it
really
has
cool.
to be.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So that was very it and but like I said, overall, and like I'm seeing people give it like reviews about how they didn't like the end and stuff, but like seriously, when I watched this, like e- everything was great. Like I really can't find any part of this movie that I didn't like.
Hmm.
Like I'm really trying hard to think back and like no, everything was excellent. Like I said, one of the best films I've seen.
Yeah, so good. Realistic aspects, aging is
Oh yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Um, Men being mean to you because you're not hot anymore.
And it sucks because she's so hot still.
She is.
Ugh, it doesn't even matter how you look. It's just your age. Like you can still be so beautiful, but if you're
Hmm.
like a certain number, like it's like you've reached like, your best by date, your
Yeah.
expiry date.
And that scene where the motorcycle douchebag who she had boned the previous night before in her other body, when he was being
Yeah.
a dick to her, I just want to say
Yeah.
that is realistic, whether or not you want to believe it, because when I was in college once, I was
Yeah.
walking across the street to get something to eat at 7-Eleven, and a guy
Yeah.
asked me if I had a cigarette, and I said no, and he said, "Well, you're ugly."
Oh my
So
God,
men are
dude.
trash.
The
And
fuck?
that was 12 years ago at this point, and it's
Jesus.
clearly stuck with me.
Oh my God. I mean, I'd remember that too. Jesus, what a freak. Yeah, and that scene actually was pretty intense. This movie, despite there being like not a lot of like dialogue,
Hmm.
the whole thing was so super tense. I was anxious the whole time watching it.
Hmm.
Really
Hmm.
cool, you know? Yeah.
I think that's the
Realistic
biggest one.
aspect.
Oh, getting fired
Yeah, getting fired.
or forced into
Um,
retirement.
yeah. Let's see. Feeling like you have to like compete with like your own self that you like created to be better and like becoming like feeling jealous and angry or feeling I don't know, like just during that scene whenever she was cooking all that French food and like she
Hmm.
was mad at the TV, like just feeling that animosity. That's not really something that would really happen, but I guess that would be like if you're comparing yourself to somebody else, it doesn't have to be someone of your own creation, but
Hmm.
uh just comparing yourself to other people when they look their very best because they're rich and famous. You know what I mean? Like I see a lot of people say that like, you're not ugly, you're just poor. Have you ever seen people say that on like social media and stuff?
Hmm.
So that like seriously, like we're not rich to make ourselves look perfect
Yeah.
all the time, okay?
Yeah.
So like that's just it. This is actually how people are this is how people look,
Hmm.
but that's how rich people look different. So
Yeah.
it's
And I
just not
think
realistic. Yeah.
this movie's come out at an interesting time with a real life journey of a very popular 90s starlet, Pamela Anderson,
Oh
who's
yeah.
also getting a lot of awards buzz for her movie The Last Showgirl, which I was going to go
Yeah.
see today before we got a blizzard.
Ah, fuck.
She has stopped wearing makeup on red carpets,
Yeah.
or at least
Go her.
I think she's probably wearing some makeup realistically, but not the full on,
Yeah, not a full beat. Yeah.
not the full glam that we're used to seeing from Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
And I think
It's good.
that shouldn't be a statement that she's making, that she's letting herself age naturally and enter this new phase of life where she's not a sex bomb. But
Right.
I do think there's some sort of essay we could write there with how this movie came out at the same time as a major 90s starlet who is in her 50s and 60s is actively no longer putting in the same amount of effort she was putting in when she was younger to
Yeah.
be this sex icon, to be the sexiest one on the red carpet. She's entered her garden granny phase, and we love that for her.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And she does actually have a garden. She's very passionate about gardening. So,
Nice. Oh, well, that's good.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sure
Okay.
I feel like her kids probably have kids now. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
probably.
her and Tommy's kids are our age, so it's not unfeasible that she's probably gonna be a grandma soon.
Oh,
Eminem's
yeah.
gonna be a fucking grandpa.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
Eminem.
Tony Hawk is already a grandpa.
Tony Hawk is just like a man.
Yeah.
It's
Tony
just-
Tony Hawk Tony Hawk and Kurt Cobain are both grandfathers to the same grandchild.
Whoa.
Frances Bean married
She married
Tony
Tony
Hawk's son.
Hawk's son. Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
that's nice. Oh, okay. Well, speaking of children of actors, I'm about to see Nosferatu tonight, and
Oh, fuck yeah.
Johnny Depp's daughter is in it.
Yeah.
She's like Ellen or whatever.
Yes.
Cool, Ellen. Yeah, totally rad name for that time period.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna let you know how that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, other realistic aspects of this, I can't think of anything other than having like a messy roommate or
Yeah.
something and like
Yeah.
or having like a weird across the street neighbor guy. Oh, how
Oh,
about that
fuck. I forgot
guy?
about him. Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, I know, gross.
Your neighbor's talking to you. Ew.
Oh, ew, yeah, he's like right across from your you too, so he knows you're in there.
But from his perspective, your neighbor doing construction for 3 days and nights straight.
Yeah, that's true. He's like irritated.
Hmm.
Oh man. So apart from all that, I think that was
Yeah.
everything
I'm gonna give this an
realistic.
yeah, it fucked me up. I hope it does
Oh
well at the
yeah.
Oscars. It better fucking win best makeup
Dude, does it go
because
into the Oscars? Nice.
um the nominations for the Oscars have not come out yet. I think we just got SAG Award nominations. Oscars are usually February, March.
Yeah, February.
So it better get best makeup. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
Best
all I'm
makeup.
saying.
I agree. Yes. So yes. Oh yeah, that fucked me up too, for damn sure. Guys. Run, don't walk to see this one.
Yes,
Okay, I was
it's
blown
phenomenal.
away. I was
It's
blown away.
it is phenomenal.
I'm glad you had David watch it because now I feel bad I didn't have Luke watch it because I had to
Yeah.
calm down a couple times and be like watch this part. Like, you know what I mean? So really
Yeah.
cool. Okay, well, apart from that, poo 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 poo. Yeah, go to Nosferatu tonight. Cool horror stuff happening right now with the award shows and stuff like that. Um, there was like a horror movie thing I wanted to like. Oh, another thing is I just finished watching Squid Game season 2 on
We also
Netflix.
did.
Did you watch that too? Okay, so
Yes.
like that show is so excellent.
Hmm.
I'm like I and like that show is a horror show in my
Hmm.
opinion because it's so fucking insane.
Yeah.
You guys, don't sleep on it because it's not in English.
Yeah,
Okay, please take the time to watch it.
it's so
Trust
good.
me. I feel like half the shows on Netflix that are in a different language are the best shows on Netflix. Okay. My
And
favorite show on
speaking,
Netflix is Dark. It's German. Yeah.
yeah, speaking of movies not in English that everybody should watch on Netflix, Godzilla
Yeah.
Minus One is on Netflix now, so everybody should fucking watch that.
Ah, yeah. Okay, cool.
Probably my
Godzilla minus
favorite
one.
cinematic experience last year.
Okay, cool. That's a horror movie too, because that's a monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But anyway, so all these cool things are happening right now at the same time. So horror's like, I gotta get in there. So 2025 is gonna be good. I'm sorry if I'm shouting. I'm wearing new headphones and I can't hear myself. So I'm talking loudly. But anyway, if that's everything, I'll go through with the outro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up. I've got a
Let's
backlog of
wrap it up.
episode to edit.
Yes, let's wrap her on up. Okay, cool. So, thank you for tuning into our episode. We are the Real Horror Show podcast. Our host is Sam Odie, and I'm the co-host, Stormy Skies. The podcast was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed, edited, and produced by Sam Odie. You can find Sam on Instagram at Sam is writing stuff, and you can find Stormy on Instagram at the Stormy Skies. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play Store, Pandora, and anywhere you like to stream your podcasts. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always in the know when a new episode comes out. Follow us on social media. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, and Blue Sky. We do more than just podcasts. We love to write and have plenty of great movie reviews and essays, all of which can be found on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can ask us a question or send us a movie request to review by DMing us on social media, or you can even send us an email at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Call for guests. Do you love horror movies? Are you a podcaster, a content creator, a movie lover, or anyone in between who is a listener to our show? We would love to have you as a guest on one of our episodes. Reach out to us via social media DM or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast episodes featuring guests are all listed on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We are so thankful for all of our listeners. You are the life force of our podcast, and we wouldn't really exist without you. Thank you all for making this podcast real and supporting us as we record every week. You can support us in different ways, such as liking and sharing our podcast episodes on social media. Giving us a review will help the podcast more than you know and will help other listeners find it too. You can also donate to Real Horror Show by visiting our support page on our website, where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal, buy us a coffee with the Buy Us a Coffee button, or explore a very interesting Amazon wish list. And any other pertinent news?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, other than watch The Substance, you should also continue on because Sam and I are going to almost finish up The Haunting of Hill House next week.
Yeah.
So I think we're like one episode until the last episode. And since I'm going to see Nosferatu, maybe you and I can talk about that a little bit on our minisode too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, apart from all that, our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton, and he can be found at jonathancolton.com. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. This is Real Horror Show signing off.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh gosh, I didn't have it pulled up.
And there's a creepy doll that always follows